Hello. This is Tiffany with Healthy Passions coming to you with my Saturday video. I'm sorry for the delay. I wasn't going to make a video today, but I decided to go ahead and post to stay consistent. So I do apologize for the tardiness, but let's get started. I wanted to give some tips to people who are either newly in the truth or been in the truth for a while but are not used to courtship versus dating. These are some things that I noticed with people who say that they've been in the truth for a long period of time, but are currently looking to court for marriage. It's a lot of things that I noticed. So I'm just going to start with number one. Number one, make sure that you have repented and truly overcome sin, bad habits, trauma, and heartbreak. I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to heal before you try to pursue a spouse, especially your spouse, the one that the Most High has set aside for you. Both parties, the man and the woman, should be healing while they are single and not bring trauma, heartbreak, or baggage to the relationship. That is not fair to your spouse, and you should be actively working through your own issues. That is for the man and the woman. They should be doing that in their single time. So I know we're busy in our single time, but we need to make time to go through our trauma, heal from it, and then proceed to move forward. Okay? So there's nothing worse than meeting your spouse and then you have all this baggage, you can't receive your blessing, right? All right, so number two, make sure you display the fruits of the Spirit. So when you are courting, that same seven fruits of the Spirit should be extended to your spouse. It should not be a different story. They shouldn't see a different side than what you portray to the world. Let's say you have a platform or something and you portray yourself as a godly person or as a holy person, but then when you get to your spouse, you want to act differently as far as either like being too sexual or being too aggressive, too controlling, things like that. So I want to make sure that you truly understand the fruits of the Spirit and display that and extend that to your spouse as well as everyone else. All right, number three, master listening skills and practice effective communication. This is a big one. Men and women suffer from this bad. A lot of times when people are talking, they don't listen to understand what the person is saying. They listen to have a better response, right? They listen to respond versus actually trying to communicate and understand what that person is saying. The quickest example I have of that is like, I had a date recently and we had two dates. First date was good. I enjoyed it. Second date, not so great. But I distinctly told this person certain things that I did not like or didn't like to do or want to do. And this person brushed past all that and went with his agenda anyway, that included two things that I told him I didn't like or want to do. So as time proceeded, he wanted to go for the third date, and on the third date he wanted to do something that I didn't like. And I told him I'm not going to tolerate that, because I've told you more than once, probably 3 or 4 times, that this is not my favorite thing to do. I don't find this as a form of fun for me, and you still made the third date the exact same thing. So the first, third, and second, and possibly the third would have been the same date. And I was just frustrated with that person because they didn't listen. Another part of that, I'll get to that later, but effective communication. So when someone is talking, we want to listen to them, make sure that they're heard. If you have a hard time listening, a great rule of thumb that I use when I was actively learning to listen to people is, when someone is talking, let them complete all their sentences. Wait about 10 to 15 seconds. Ask them, are they finished? Right? And if they say yes, they are finished, wait about 15 more seconds and then respond. that shows that you heard everything they said. That person feels heard, and it causes a lot less arguments, okay, and a lot less misunderstandings, right? All right, so another thing, do not expect worship. I notice within the Hebrew Israelite group especially, but just most groups that I've seen, but in the Hebrew Israelite groups, I notice for when they're trying to meet to court with someone, or to what the world calls dating someone, they bring a certain arrogance about them. Like, I've been in the truth for so and so many years, and I know this much, and they lead with how much knowledge they have. I see this more for men than women, but I see women do it too. But mainly men I see do this, and they want to lead with all their knowledge, and they think that they are impressing the person by, showing how much knowledge they know in a short period of time. And then they kind of come across as arrogant, and then they have this air about them like, yeah, I am a man of the Most High. You show me respect. You make sure you show me reverence, and this and this. And look, you are just a man. And if you are a man of the Most High, that is great, but that does not mean that the women that you deal with will have to worship the ground that you walk on. They act as if they are the prize, and that women should be just so happy to have them, that we will do anything and be treated any kind of way. Nothing we want matters. It's the attitude that I'm seeing, which is why they remain unmarried, because that is not what the Most High wants for his daughters. They forget that we are children of the Most High as well, and we are his princesses, and any father, good father, would not want their daughter with a man like that. All right, so we are both grown adults, and we are made to worship the Most High only. We're not here to worship one another. And the same is true for the women. On the other hand, you think your beauty and your knowledge or whatever you have is supposed to be worshipped, and it is not. So it works both ways, but I mainly see that in men who expect to be held to a high esteem in their household and amongst other people, and it's just not that way. They think they're special because their DNA states that they are Hebrew Israelites, so they think they are better than everyone else, including people in other nations as well as people in their own nations. Your special DNA will be in hell with that attitude. Okay? So check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right? Number 5. Marriage is an equal partnership, not a dictatorship, meaning the woman should not be running the man, and the man should not be running the woman. There is a partnership, a balance, not a dictatorship. It's not that one person is in control of all the money, in control of the other adult in the relationship. Like I said before, you have 2 adults. If you want to marry a child, then you could be the dictator. Don't marry a woman and put her in a child's position by telling her, you're going to do this and do this, and I'm the man and I said so. That's not how you treat an adult. This woman has lived a full life before you, and probably will divorce you and live a full life after you. So you have to remember that this is a whole adult person with her own mind, her own thoughts, her own ways, her own relationship with the Most High. So you cannot come in there as a dictator to a grown woman. So you have to check yourself at the door. All right? Do not stop your spouse from doing their purpose. Another mistake I see in courtship is men expect women to stop everything that they're doing, everything that they got going, and just totally wrap their world around them. That's why most marriages don't work. That is asking too much of any human being. We are all here. We all have a purpose that the Most High has sent us to do, and we are here to do that purpose. One person should not stop the other person from doing their God-given purpose. All right? So if your woman is a talented whatever person, and she does this and she does that, she should not have to stop just because she became married. because she became a wife. Marriage is not an end all tell all. It usually ends up that way for the woman only, and that is not fair, and that is not the way that it's supposed to be. Okay, a woman can do multiple things. She is the multiplier, so she can do multiple things. She can be a wife, a mother, and still walk in her purpose. Leave her alone. Let her do what God created her to do. You are stifling your partner when you do that, and you are causing her to be disobedient to the Most High. All right? And you will pay for that. Trust me. All right? Men respect the autonomy of the woman. This is, I can't stress this enough. You know, the last 3 talks about this. The autonomy of a woman. She has the right to not like something. She has the right to her opinions, her feelings, her thoughts, her way of doing things. She has the right as an adult person, as her own person. Yes, y'all become one, but that doesn't mean when y'all become one that only the man can dictate what the one does. No, it's together. Y'all have to work in unison. That's how one works. Because if she's not on board with what you got going on, y'all need to compromise until it works. Because if one is going one way and then another is going the other way, that marriage is not going to work. All right. So you have to respect her autonomy. She has the right to tell you, no, I don't want to have sex. No, she doesn't have the right to do that for long periods of time for no reason. But if she doesn't want to, or if she's tired or whatever the case, she has every right to be like, no. And that is not an insult to you. Okay. So men tend to think of women as property. You feel like no matter what she has going on, that she's supposed to just do whatever you want at the drop of a dime. And that's just not how life works. So you need to respect her autonomy. If you don't know what that means, look it up. All right, number 8. Remember, control is not leadership, headship, or love. A lot of men go into these relationships with the wrong understanding, thinking that they are to control the woman, control the entire house. You cannot control a whole entire human being with their own mind, thoughts, and heart. You can't do it. So you need to learn leadership skills and headship skills and what love truly is according to our scriptures, and display that versus trying to control. That is not our culture. That is not something that we have done in the past. It was something that we have been forced into from being oppressed by another nation. And that is their custom, not ours. So y'all have adopted that caveman mentality towards your women, and it was never meant to be that way. All right, so number 9. Marry according to our own customs, our rules, and commandments. We have our rules and commandments that are given to us by the Most High. Y'all should not be deviating from that. All right? You should know, learn, and know those before you even consider courting anyone. So we don't want to, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that you're in the truth and you follow the Most High and that you're a Hebrew Israelite man or woman, and then on the flip side, still use societal's barbaric ways of the current oppressor that we have. You can't have it. So basically, let me put it in plain terms. You can't say that you're a part of the truth and follow the Most High and then still have your oppressor's mentality towards marriage. You have to be all the way in. Because that benefits the man to have it that way, but that is not how the Most High wants us to do our things. We are to be set apart. That is what the word holy means, and that includes through our working relationships with the woman and man. That means that you can't take the way society does things, or the way the world does things, into a Hebrew marriage. Okay, let's just be clear. All right, number 10. Rejection is not always negative. If you are truly in the truth, rejection just means that is not your spouse. So you may go on 1 or 2 dates with a person and realize, okay, this person's not for me. We are not equally yoked, or we are not compatible, whatever the case may be, however you want to word it. Do not blow up at the woman if she tells you that you're not a suitable fit for her. And women, do not blow up at the man if he tells you that you are not a suitable fit for him as well. And men, be vocal. You know early on if that woman is right for you or not. So if you continue to lead that woman on, and then after you've gotten everything you wanted from that woman, and then turn around and say, oh yeah, this is not going to work, you're not my wife. No, that's wrong too. You will be in hell. All right. So there's an old saying that people used to say, rejection is protection. That goes both ways. It doesn't always have to be a protection from a bad thing. It could be protection from a non-compatible marriage, right? So yeah, that's all I have to say. I am going to do another video for fertility soon. I did not want to do it today. This has been heavy on my heart for about a week now, so I wanted to get that out because of a single experience that I had. Well, a couple of experiences that I had with men who were supposedly in the truth, who act like no different than the men in the world, basically. But yeah, that was it. That's all I wanted to say. I wanted to thank you guys and have a lovely day. Thank you.